When I look at my career right now, I think I have more than 10 years in the industry, in the financial institutions, and in the technical space in the financial institutions. So I think for me, it's always, there's a concept called fintech. That's where I want to play in, because most of the banks that we have in South Africa, they are supported by technology, but they don't make so many decisions using their technology. So technology is not leading the bank, but technology is supporting the bank. So where I want to push is to make sure that we use technology to forecast, to preempt, to use technology to drive the bank's strategy. That's where I want to play now, to say, how can I use my technological expertise to influence what banking industry or what banks are doing in the financial space of South Africa.
Good day. Welcome to another episode of Discover Talent at Vico.net. My name is Kagishorit, and today I am with Lethu Mjaja. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Kagisho. How are you?
I'm very well. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, recent promotion. I can see you're upbeat. So you're a senior BI developer, right?
Yes.
And now you've been promoted into a managerial role.
Yes, it's a recent promotion. Quite impressed with the new role. Still figuring one or two things, but quite happy with the new role.
Yeah. And BI in this instance, is that business intelligence?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. What does that mean? So for somebody out there who doesn't know what a business intelligence developer does, what does that involve?
Okay. So business intelligence is quite a big a very big department. But what I do, it's more on data engineering. So business intelligence is separated into two spectrums. Okay. One, it's visualization, where you present your data. The other one, it's data engineering. So I'm more focused on the data engineering part, which is basically sourcing data from multiple sources that generate the data into one place where you are able to transform and present your data.
Okay. So your specialty is on the data engineering side.
Yes.
It's a collation of data from multiple sources, structured, unstructured, so that we can make sense of it.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And base, I suppose, decisions and solutions from it.
Yes.
And then throw it over the fence to the visualization team.
Yes, to the visualization team. So the visualization team, they get the information that's already been transformed and they present it in a format that a human being can be able to read and make decisions from it. Yes. So those decisions might be, you are reporting from that data, and when you are more advanced, you can get insights that you are able to forecast and use that data to forecast or preempt what might happen depending on the data that you have collected.
Okay. Did you always knew that's what you wanted to do, or this was like a discovery process?
No, I never knew. Growing up in the villages in KZN, data engineering was something very foreign to me. So when I completed my BSc degree in computer science and information technology, and I completed my honors degree in BCom, information systems and technology, I then moved to Joburg, where I started discovering this big phenomenon called data. Yes. And I was interested in it, and then I started working on it back when I moved to Joburg.
Yeah. But as you were enrolling for your first degree, what was informing that? So from high school into that, were you clear that this is the path? Maybe not crystal clear around how it will end up, but you were fairly confident that I'm in the right path.
So by then, what I wanted was technology. I wanted to be in the space of computer science and IT. But back then, I just wanted to be a software developer. Okay. I was quite interested in software, how software works, and software engineering, computers, and so forth. Yeah. So when I started my first year degree, the idea was, go to software engineering.
Yes.
But when I then completed my second degree, I realized that there's more to IT, there's more to computer science, and I fell in love with data, and I've been doing data ever since.
Yeah. Okay, now that makes sense. That aspiration from, can I call it a village boy, into technology, and that transition, was that hard, by the way?
Definitely.
Did the university environment almost kind of overwhelm?
It was definitely overwhelming because when I started my degree, I wanted to do computer science. But the first time I ever switched on a computer was in university.
Was at university itself?
Yeah. So it was a very strange dream to want to achieve because you've never worked on a computer, but you want to do computer science.
Yes.
But it was a big step to overcome. But I did.
Yeah.
I did overcome it.
At the very least, do they have bridging courses for that? Because I would imagine in your first year class, it's a mixed bag, right? You have those who are privileged.
Yes.
Not seeing it for the first time. They probably even took it as a subject at school. And then you have your Lethus here, right? What strategy? So if you had to, we are at that time of the year, right? Where you have these matriculants who are about to enter this world of higher learning, and they're going to go through the same path. If you had to advise a younger Lethu in terms of how to bridge that, what would be some of the things that you would say or look out for?
So for me, I would say nothing is impossible with life. As long as you have a vision of something you want to achieve, you might not have a view of the whole journey. But if you know the first step, and if you can see the first step, take it. You should never worry too much on what will happen after. Just do the first part, then you worry about the next step, but not worry about 10 steps from here. You will overwhelm yourself. So when it comes to what to do after matric, I think go with your gut feeling. Go with what you want to do, what will make you happy. Remember, we spend a lot of time at our jobs. Our life, we spend it a lot doing our job. So rather do something you enjoy doing. Do something that when you wake up, you won't get frustrated by going and doing. So make a choice right now, but don't be too hard on yourself. I've seen people changing degrees halfway through because they realize that, this is not what I'm bound to do, and you can change. Even when you've started working, people study different things because they realize that it's not something that they want to do. So it's a try and error. There's no formula into this thing. But as long as you know what you want to do, go for it. And if you realize this is not for me, try something else.
Now, some wisdom there, and spoken like a true data engineer,
That's what you do every day.
Absolutely, And now, moving into your new managerial role, I would imagine that you possibly have a multidisciplinary team now that you are looking after, or is it a team of data engineers, or you've got other disciplines that you would also be accountable for?
So it's a team of data engineers. We are sitting within a finance department, within a corporate and investment banking division. So it's data engineers that support finance with financial data to make decisions out of it, to report out of it, to forecast, to budget out of it. So that's where we fit in. But it's a team of one discipline, which is data engineering within a finance specialty.
And how do you know, as a data engineer in the solution-making value chain, right? At what point do you see value in the outputs of what you guys do? Because I would imagine, for lack of a better term, are you more in the front end, or throughout the solution value chain, you actually work it in packets all the way through? Meaning, how do you know you've done a good job as a data engineer?
So we fit in a finance department. So our stakeholders or our clients are accountants and your chief financial officer, your CFO. So if there's a requirement, and banks report every day, monthly and yearly. Banks need to report. So when do you add the value? If your client is happy with your output.
Yeah.
So for financial results that you hear at the end of, it's either half-year reporting for the bank or year-end reporting for the bank. So the moment you are able to cut that reporting time by half,
yeah.
so you've added value.
Okay.
If your accountants, you cut the time they spend doing manual work. So
yeah.
we bring in efficiency and we bring in automation. So the moment you are able to cut down those manual tasks that they do, you cut down the time they spend analyzing the data. You give them the final report with all the information that they need to make the decisions, and that information brings insights. Then you have added the value once you've automated a process or you've brought in efficiency in the process.
Okay. So at the point of, and the reason I was asking that, right, when we started, the data engineers, they are more on the extracting of the data, right?
Yes.
And preparing it to pass it over to the visual team. Wouldn't they take credit for?
Wouldn't they take credit?
Credit, yeah.
No, it happens every day. People take credit for other people's work. That's how life works. But the most person that gets credit, it's the person at the final end. No one usually recognizes the people who do the work in the background.
Yeah.
But we are happy with that because we know that we are the backbone of that solution.
Yeah.
Without us sourcing that data from multiple sources and structuring that data and make it make sense to someone who looks at it, we understand our value. And it's for us to make sure that our seniors understand the value that we bring. Because being based in a finance department, we don't expect them to understand our value. It's for us to make sure that our value is known by showing them what we do.
Okay. No. And I'm happy you put it that way, because what you're saying, the power of what you're saying is that in the end, if my end user and customer proudly stands up there and presents this, right? It means that the foundations where it started and the backbone behind this did a good job.
Definitely.
Otherwise, they would have no opportunity to do that, right?
Definitely.
Okay. No. Perfectly understood. And what can we do more to bring this far earlier, at least at high school, to start exposing, those that are coming through? Because whether we like it or not, the world is shifting far faster than we would like to believe.
No, definitely. The world is moving quite fast. And they say that the one constant thing in our life is change. You can never run away from change. So I think what we can do is to share this information. I think this is what this podcast is about, is to share the information so that people are aware that there's this career called data engineering, career called business intelligence. And I think when you go technology route, I don't think it's still a very scarce skill, but it's quite a highly demanded skill out there. I think I would advise a lot of kids to go the IT route, to go the computer science route, because the way technology is coming through, we will need these technicians to be around. We'll need these data engineers to be around. There's AI now, there's machine learning. All those things are coming into these industries. Every industry requires technology. Every financial institutions require technology. Telecommunications require technology. Manufacturing require technology. So I would say, let's spread the word so that this information goes out there, so that these kids that are still growing up understand the opportunities that they have. You see, some people started playing around with computers at a very young age. I also have kids. I give my kids access to gadgets early so that they can understand these gadgets and they can have a broader mindset than...
And demystify it, right?
And just make sure that these kids see the opportunities that they have out there, that there's no limit. You know, you can be anything you want to be. You can only limit yourself.
Yeah, yeah. No, excellent. And where do you get your inspiration? What influences you?
Inspiration, I think it's within for me. Once I put an eye on something, I struggle with failure. I make sure that I work myself out to achieve that. Also, my family gives me a lot of inspiration because I get a lot of appreciation when I achieve something at home. My family, my wife, my kids, they get very happy when I achieve something. So I think my motivation is within and also within my family to achieve more.
Yeah. And biggest achievement to date, I'm sure there's more still coming, but if you look back and says, oh wow, yeah, I'm proud of myself here, what would that be?
Biggest achievements? I think it's my recent promotion. It came at a time where it was unexpected. It was more of an approach more than me requesting it. So I think it was more of my senior exec seeing the potential in me and say, you know, it's time for you to step up and let's give you more responsibilities. I think that's the recent achievements that I can mention.
Yeah. And I see that in your profile, by the way, because one of the things that we don't emphasize enough, especially for those following what I call technical careers, is the importance to blend it with management skills courses, right? And one of the observations was how you've continuously developed yourself, you know, with that. And at least to us, we are not surprised that you're in a managerial role now, because that's where that blend comes in, and you know, the career growth also comes in.
Yeah, so technology is good, and you know, you can do so much with technology. But for me, or let me say personally, what I deem more important is personal growth. You know, personal mastery. It's one of the modules that I was doing this year, you know, and that comes in my leadership course that I'm doing as well. That it's so important that when you are in charge of people, you use empathy at the center of every decision that you are making. So when it comes to leadership, personal mastery, management, I'm very interested in that. There's a lot of technical skills I've acquired with time in the industry, but now I'm working a lot in gaining those soft skills, you know, those communication, presentation, how to interact with people. That's where I'm interested now, because I want to bring in that technical specialty, but also be able to manage, to lead, to guide, to coach, and to mentor.
Yeah. It's quite interesting that in as much as you're saying soft skills, we know you're saying it in jest, because managing humans, there's nothing soft about it. But you're absolutely right. I think personal mastery is all about understanding self, understanding others, in order to bring the best, you know, out of everybody. You're absolutely right. And new promotion, I'm sure it's about settling in the role, you know, but after that, what are you still looking forward to well into the future?
I think it's growth. When I look at my career right now, I think I have more than 10 years in the industry, in the financial institutions, and in the technical space in the financial institutions. So I think for me, it's always, there's a concept called fintech. You know, that's where I want to play in, because most of the banks that we have in South Africa, they are supported by technology, but they don't make so many decisions using their technology. So technology is not leading the bank, but technology is supporting the bank. So where I want to push is to make sure that we use technology to forecast, to preempt, to use technology to drive the bank's strategy. That's where I want to play now, to say, how can I use my technological expertise to influence what banking industry or what banks are doing in the financial space of South Africa.
If we went to your new team now, right, and granted it's fairly new, and we ask them in one word, describe Lethu to us, what do you think they'll say?
It's a tricky question, but I think they will say I'm results driven. I think I'm one person that leads based on results. I wouldn't mind if you come into work at 8 or at 10, you leave at 4, at 6. Whatever we agreed on is done.
Yeah.
So I'm results driven. We set a goal, we set a deadline, I let you be.
Yeah. And thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Lethu Mjaja. Doesn't matter if you're from a village or not, performance and results is what he's after. Thank you, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kahisho.
Thank you.